Speaking of obligations, I want to broaden this. Some of the work that we've done together, it's the obligation that we have, no greater obligation than to our kids. And back to the issue of education. And that's why tomorrow's budget includes a record-breaking $27,418 per student. We have never had per pupil investment as large as that in our state's history. It's also a budget, we got to celebrate our wins. We forget about these things. It's also a budget that fully funds our brand new grade, TK for all, and maintains our commitment at the same time to reduce class sizes. Fully funded. Also a budget that continues our nation-leading investments. And I'm proud. My wife, thank you for the recognition, Mr. Speaker, my wife. But I'm proud, but she hadn't done anything yet. Hold on. But I'm proud of her advocacy and your advocacy, making sure we continue to lead the nation in our investment in school meals. Nearly $1 billion. This is amazing. It's nearly $1 billion breakfast, lunch, and snacks each and every year. We're going to take that to the next level. And it's also, this budget's going to advance the nation's most expansive and audacious plans to eliminate ultra-processed foods at the same time from our cafeteria. California is leading in that space. Now, I say we're leading in that space, but you may have seen the space in that morning paper. You may have seen the space on cable networks, where Donald Trump just announced a couple days ago that he will illegally be cutting all federal funding for TANF and childcare in, curiously, just 5 blue states in America, including California. Just think about that as a value proposition. I'm glad no one applauded that. How the hell can you applaud that? These are cuts that are going to throw parents right in total disarray, forcing them to choose between going to work or taking care of their children. And it'll also be cuts that put at risk, Madam Pro Tem understands this, the most significant expansions of childcare in the United States of America that are happening right here in California. Here's the number. Our investments support close to 500,000 children. 487,000 children are supported through our healthcare expansions in this state, saving families thousands and thousands of dollars a year. That is a point of pride, and it's a point of privilege to acknowledge the leadership of the Women's Caucus, our new pro tem, and many of you for helping make that happen. It's also a point of contrast with the current administration. Child care is economic development. I'm surprised not everybody's stepping up on that one. Maybe we all don't have families. I'm a dad. I appreciate child care. Look, when we talk about saving families money, let's consider the bold commitment we made just a few years ago as well, and that's to bolster after-school and summer school programs. We bolstered them by providing 9 hours a day of enrichment and 30 days of summer school each year. And I'm proud to say that this budget is going to finish the job to make that pledge universal at every elementary school in the state. We will complete that commitment this year. That's after school for all. We did it. Been promoted for years and years. Look, more hours of enrichment, more literacy coaches, more reading specialists, healthy meals for all, an entire grade for everyone. But we understand it's not just any one of these initiatives on their own, it's also the complete transformation of our campuses through rigorous, relevant, and engaging community schools, one of our most significant achievements over the last few years. I want to remind you, this is important. To date, California's invested $4.1 billion in these life-changing, enriching community schools, supporting over 2,500 campuses throughout the state. And the good news is we're not done. The budget that I will propose tomorrow includes an additional $1 billion to expand thousands of additional high-need community schools in our state. These are working. These investments are working. These investments are paying off. Just this year, This may have gone lost in all the noise, but just this year, we've seen improved academic achievement in every subject area, at every grade level, in every student group, with greater gains of test scores for Black and Latino kids. That happened, and that's happening in California's public educational system. And it's a point of pride. It's a point of pride that those gains are particularly pronounced in Los Angeles, the nation's second largest school district. And I just want to say this to the teachers, the classified employees, and to the parents of LA Unified School kids. You should be very proud of your progress you're making, particularly proud of your leader who's here, the Superintendent of Public Education, Alberto Cavallo, who's here with us today, who's just been doing a remarkable job. Alberto, I appreciate you coming all the way up from Los Angeles. And just so you know, he's only been here a few years, but under his stewardship, the district is outpacing statewide progress. They're exceeding pre-pandemic levels in every category and reaching, get this, the highest levels recorded since the current state assessments were launched a decade ago. Under his leadership, that's happening in the nation's second largest school district. I say this all the time, you're nothing but a mirror of your consistent thoughts. Whatever you focus on, you'll find more of. And I don't think it's such a bad thing that we start focusing on what's right in terms of the investments we made and the return on the investments that we're experiencing. And the superintendent, I assure you, he's the first one to say and acknowledge that we have a lot more work to do. With that, we also have some reforms that I think are long overdue. And I know not everyone may share enthusiasm for these reforms, but I think it's time to modernize the management of our educational system. So the budget I'll be submitting tomorrow proposes that we unify the policy making by the State Board of Education and the Department of Education, which I believe will allow the State Superintendent of Public Instruction to align our educational policies from early childhood through college much more efficiently. I believe that's important and long overdue reform. Speaking of long overdue, I thought we all made the right decision about getting rid of cell phones last year in public schools. I think everybody can agree on that. And if you don't agree, you're not a parent. Every parent understands this. Our kids are increasingly more anxious, more addicted, less free, less happy, because so much of their lives is lived online. So much of their lives have become performative, right? Measured by external validation, likes and followers. We're watching the spiritual health of our young people erode, quite literally, erode in real time. The vital conversation about what to do, that's played out here disproportionately in these chambers for well over the last decade. So I'm proud of all of you. I'm proud of California's leadership, leading the nation in kids' online safety, thanks to laws that you've passed, including many that I had the privilege of signing just last year on age verification, on chatbot safety, on parental controls. But recently, you saw the headlines. You may have reacted, some of you a little bit more than others, to some of those headlines in Australia. Started making you think, are we doing enough? Can we do more? And so the consequences of getting it wrong, you all understand, it's too apparent. Depression, social isolation, some cases, even marginal radicalization, if you think I'm overstating it. What's going on with our young men? What's going on with our boys? Not just online, but also offline. And forgive me for this. I paint a tougher picture, but I thought it was important. You walk into a morgue, you see 5 young people who may have taken their life by suicide. 4 are men. Boys are 14 times more likely to be incarcerated. Boys, 3 times more likely to die from an overdose, twice as likely to be homeless. 1 out of 7 men doesn't even have one friend. Half, this is interesting, may not be surprising to some of you, half of young men have not even asked a woman out on a date in person. Men are struggling, boys are struggling. The good news is we're responding in this state. I was proud to recently issue an executive order that, among other concrete actions, creates a new service challenge. We call it the Men's Service Challenge. We're calling on 10,000 young men to step up as tutors and mentors and coaches and leaders in their communities. I think that's important. We need more young men. By the way, I saw my wife. She was kind enough to stand up. This is not an ad. But about 20 years ago, she did a landmark film about the misrepresentation of women and girls called Misrepresentation. Oprah bought it. It was very well received. 2 years later, she followed up with a documentary most folks forgot about called The Mask You Live In, 2015, about masculinity and the crisis of masculinity. Not in a toxic sense, not in a pejorative sense, but what was happening with men and boys over a decade ago. This issue is a real issue, and it is not a zero-sum issue. This is not a zero-sum issue. We'll continue nation-leading efforts for women and girls, but we have to address this issue. And it's not, again, just addressing the issue through service that's targeted at boys. It's also service that extends through our larger Service Corps initiative in California. I think this is important. California's Service Corps is now larger than the Peace Corps. No other state can lay claim to that. We have service matters. Shared experiences matter. You want to deal with all this crisis and all this stress? Shared experiences. No one's asking who you voted for. No one asks you where you live. Shared experiences. And we have a College Corps program in this state you have funded. Thank you. The College Corps program, unlike anything else in the United States, over 3,500 students are earning up to $10,000 to reduce their cost of education. And what we ask for in return is 450 hours of service. Service. I'm a Sarge Shriver guy. Service, he said, is the heart and soul of what binds us together. Helping personal character, helping with friendships, as well as helping with careers.